Alright, so hopefully you can see my screen here. This is what Ecamm Live looks like. I apologize for the weird little thing in the middle, but it's trying to recreate itself 1,000 times here, doing this weird little mirrored tunnel vision. So, any rate, the one thing I will tell you is Ecamm by default is going to mute anything other than a web camera. So that means your microphone for anything other than your actual camera is going to automatically be shut off, and you'll see that here in a second. So by default, it does that. So if you're trying to talk over something, you either have to set it ahead of time, or you just have to be very quick as far as unmuting your microphones. So like for right now, my microphone's on, but as soon as I click this announcement roll, you're going to see it's going to pop up a warning that says I am muted. Okay, so it mutes me automatically, which is pretty handy. You can have different things going on here too. I even have it set up so in our transitional period between music and preaching that it automatically mutes the microphone or the input just to give us a little bit of time to make that transition smooth. So I'm going to click on our intro and you can see what happens there. Just look down in the bottom right corner for that MGXU down here and it should automatically mute itself. It also gives me a warning in the middle of the screen that lets me know that it did that. All right, so this is what our basic setup again, just our stage up there. So this is what Ecamm looks like. It's got a bunch of different scenes you can run through. You can do video overlays, all sorts of stuff. You can do some crazy complicated things with it. I wouldn't recommend it unless you've got somebody who feels pretty comfortable around it. You can do overlays pretty much of any kind, pictures, timers, whole bunch of other things over there. You do have an option for your camera stuff, so you can zoom your camera, you can zoom it, change colors, temperatures. You can do a green screen if you want to do a live green screen and a whole bunch of other things. So you can do mirroring, some other setups on that way too, and then you can adjust your sound levels to pull it up or down. But this is kind of the basics. There's a ton of Ecamm tutorials you can use to kind of check out things a little more difficult if you want to go down that road. But honestly, I would keep it simple for now. So it does a good job for what it does. There are tons and tons of different choices as far as things you can pop in on your screen. You can set defaults for cameras. You can switch easily by pushing numbers. You can get your default microphones, overlays, all sorts of stuff. So again, the one thing that we have figured out on ours is this whole mic delay thing. I am currently off by 2 frames. There's just a bit of a difference between audio and video. And so I did a whole bunch of testing and figured out ours is pretty close to 2 frames being off there. So if that's something that's just not working well for you, maybe you want to try switching that, seeing if you can get them lined up a little better. But this is the basics to Ecamm. I'm not going to go into crazy depth here. If you want to try it out for yourself, if you go to Ecamm on the internet, it will give you tons and tons of tutorials, or YouTube has a bunch of them too. So I did spend quite a bit of time looking at those. So if you're going to have somebody that's going to try it, they need to be the ones going through all those tutorials, trying to experiment with things. They need to be the ones putting some time in to make this work. Again, this is not to showboat, not to do any of those things, but if you're interested in trying streaming a different way, it's worth checking out. Again, I think the iPad, the tablet, the phone, all those things are completely fine. You just have to use what works for you. The biggest thing I can tell you again is make that audio quality crisp. I will say if you don't have a MacBook, there's plenty of other options. So again, we're just using Ecamm, but OBS, there are tons and tons of different streaming applications. If you just Google live stream church from a laptop, you'll get tons of stuff. So there's anything from the cheap setup to the super expensive one. You just kind of got to make work whatever works best for you.